Oh, Sony. Whoa. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Rants About Tech Live, number 163. For this Monday, September 15th. How you guys doing out there today? I'm your host, Rod, here in sunny Philadelphia with a few of my good friends in the chat. I appreciate you guys for being here. This is the tech news show where we talk about tech news of the day, talk about eInk stories of the day. We talk about a lot of different things throughout the day. And if you know me, we'll go off on a tangent or two. That's a thing. So I hope you guys are here for the long haul. If you want to see this content more, consider, subscribing if you deem the show worthy. Like if you liked it at the end, things like that too. Today we're going to talk about just a few tech stories that I thought were interesting. Not anything heavy, just a couple light stories. But then we're gonna have I'm gonna do my commentary. I have a whole eInk monologue I want to get out. Did you guys saw the title, right? If you didn't see the title, it's Rod, Galileo, Copernicus. That's how I feel today. That sums up my feeling today 100%. So we'll talk more about that when we get to the eInk section. How you guys out there doing though? Sunny here, like I said, in Philadelphia, but I hope you guys are enjoying whatever weather you have where you're at. I hope you're having some good weather actually. We don't have a lot of time left in the northern hemisphere for good weather. So yeah, enjoy whatever good day you guys got left. I'm definitely going to get out here and enjoy some more one wheeling. I did a little one wheeling yesterday. Actually, a few randos actually. Just hit on some rando information. I actually got out to this event they call the Oval at Eakins Oval. Now I gotta tell you guys, it's about a 20-minute walk from where I live to the Oval or Eakins Oval. And this is a spot that's right across the street from, if you guys don't know, I just mentioned, live in Philadelphia, and we have the Rocky Steps here. And the Rocky Steps are right outside of the Art Museum. Now, the Art Museum is across the street from Eakins Oval. Now, just set the stage for you guys. So it's a very poppin' area. So it's always got tourists there. People, natives are there as well, just hanging out, having a good time. And at this particular place, they were serving like food and drinks throughout the summer. I didn't find out about this until late. So they do this throughout the summer. I found out about it the day before they ended it. So me and Amy go down there to get some food and drink and just hang out and chill. 20-minute walk, like I said. The point of this story is we had a good time, but don't drink and walk 20 minutes to the location and think you're going to feel good walking back after that. Just drive. It doesn't seem like it's a lot 20-minute walk. Oh, we were like, we could do a 20-minute walk. That's nothing, avoid some traffic because like I said, it's a highly trafficked area. Just drive, people. If you're going to be drinking, or I said, if you're going to be drinking, don't drink and drive. Oh my God. Don't drink and drive. Get a designated driver. But do something. Don't walk that 20 minutes and then or get an Uber. There we go. Even better. Get a car. Get an Uber. Just don't drink and think you're going to walk 20 minutes back home and feel good about it. You're not, okay? How many people did we lose? Everyone. Okay. That's just what I thought it was going to be. Okay. All right. Moving on from Eakins Oval. They had a 24-hour rocky stair climb. We were there. We saw the lights. We were like, okay, this looks like it's something for kids. We're not going to do this. Let's get out of here. But it turns out it was something for adults as well. They were doing it all night. So 24 hours, they had people walking on the Rocky Steps, going up and down it. It was ridiculous, but I would have done it had I known that's what it was. We were talking about building a creator space for creators to use tablets and stuff. So let's just to update that. On the weekend, I was working on getting that done. It's a lot. It's more than I thought it was going to be. Implementing it's going to be a task. But I figure in a couple weeks, I'll have that portion of the site up. So what I'm going to do is put it on the website and have it up there. We'll link that in the Discord as well. If you want to join the Discord, link in the description. But we'll link that in Discord as well. I'm going to update the Discord and update you guys on live over the next couple of weeks as I go to try to get this thing fixed up and ready to work for everyone. So we'll figure that out. But if you guys have any suggestions, throw it in the Discord, throw it in the comments. And like I said, with the creator space, we're just finding a way to get creators who aren't necessarily into certain devices, but they would try it if they had it. Get those creators certain devices so they can give their opinion and add perspective and some nuance to the conversation about said device. So I think that's very cool. Especially for creators, like I said, who don't think they will like a certain device and wouldn't want to invest the money into getting it because they just don't think they would like it. To get those devices in those people's hands would be kind of cool to hear their take on it. Even if their take is we don't like it, that would be interesting and valuable to the community, I think, as a whole. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the tech stories. Now that I've lulled everyone to sleep, it's good morning. I hope you guys got your coffee. I hope you got it. Mine's cold. I've been sipping it for the last couple of hours now. All right. First thing we have to talk about for news stories is going to be iOS 26 arrives today for eligible iPhones. So this is a story that's important because obviously this is going to be an update that's coming out before the actual phones are coming out. So people will have a chance to see what the new operating system on the new phones, see what it's going to look like, how it's going to behave. it's going to be a letdown, undoubtedly, but whatever. You can download yours today if you want to get those new features or some of those new features that they talked about. Not all of those new features will be coming to the older devices, but if you want to find out what device, if the device you have will be eligible for the update and what features are coming for that device, you can find it out here. I have this story from Engadget linked in the show notes in the description there, so you can go ahead and click on that link and get there if you want to find out that information. The next thing we got up here is going to be about the new Galaxy devices getting One UI 8. So this is kind of like one of those things where OEMs like Samsung have to wait for Android updates to hit before they can reskin it and put their own little spin on it before they release it to the public. So this is just another example of that. They had to kind of wait for Android 16 to roll out, but this isn't. I don't think they had to wait long, and I think this is going to be on par with the rollout. No, because that rollout happened with the Pixel 10. But not too long after the Android 16 rollout, did Samsung come out with theirs, which is always good to see. So devices that are going to be getting that update are in this article as well. You can check this article out if you want to see if your specific device is going to get that update at a certain point. But just some key notes here. It began rolling out today. So this is something that's coming today. Older high-end devices such as Galaxy S24 devices, Galaxy Z Flip 6 and Galaxy Z Fold 6 should receive the update in the coming weeks, although it isn't available now. It's just available for the Galaxy 25 or S25 series today. So yeah, if you have that phone, you'll be able to get that update. And just, I think that's just in certain regions too. I don't think that's actually in the US just yet. They're just releasing that in their test market. But the point is, we're getting that, and we're going to start seeing people come out with this update on their phones. So if you're looking forward to that, definitely stay tuned to YouTube. You're definitely going to see this everywhere, and you can decide whether it's for you or not, and if you care about it or not. Aaron says nobody wants to test the Mobi Scribe, but I have one to send to you for someone to try out. Well, that's the thing, Aaron. I appreciate that. And Aaron's talking about the creator space that I'm trying to put together. We've got a Pen Star right now. We have the Mobi Scribe if you're going to send that to be sent out. We also have the Pen Star, the Mobi Scribe. eInk was talking about the Tab. One of our devices, but we got the Tab Mini C that we're going to put into the mix. eInk was going to donate a device. I'm not sure which one she was donating. I think the Note Air 3C. So that's, we got about 4 or 5 devices right now that we can add into the mix. I'm trying to get a few more devices added into that right now. So in the next couple of weeks, while I get this set up, we should have a good list, half a dozen devices at least to have into the mix. And that's going to do a lot of creators some good, especially if, again, like I said, a lot of people just don't want to spend the money on getting some devices that they think they're not going to like, and they may end up not liking it. So this is a good way to get those people's opinions on these things. I think that's going to be great. Moving on, next thing we got on the news docket is Meta Connect 2025. So Meta Connect is going to happen September 17th through the 18th. So Wednesday. The keynote is going to be at 5 p.m. Pacific time on the 17th, and where they're going to announce a bunch of products that they're going to be coming out with over the course of the next year and maybe beyond that. Some interesting things I thought were cool. The monocular HUD glasses. I think they're definitely going to come out with a pair of AR glasses that has at least a screen in one of the lenses. I think that's a given for this particular show. Something that I would like to see now, when Meta started talking about the Oakleys being a pair of glasses that they were going to make, like their Meta Ray-Bans, this is what I envisioned. I would have been all in on this style. I don't like the ones they have now, the white ones with the crazy. This is more my speed if we're going to go that route. If we're going to do the crazy mad like reflective UV protection on them, if we're going to do like a sporty band, this I can take. I would look forward to a pair of these. This is like one wheel worthy stuff right here. Right now, these are one wheel. Like, this will get me by. That would be even better. That would be even better to get the side wind and the side glare. Sun is a beast out there. But this will be cool. I think this is where they should have gone with the initial pair of Oakleys. But whatever, we're here now, and I appreciate that. What else we got here? The glasses that come with the wristband. I think they call these Hypernova. So Hypernova is supposed to be talked about a little bit more, at least some version of Hypernova. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm super excited to see what Meta does this week. I'm going to be bringing more news on this story throughout the lives. But yeah, super excited to see what they do here. All right, next story, and the last we got to talk about is going to be Google Gemini being the top iPhone app in the App Store. Now, caveat, it's the top free iPhone app in the App Store, but still impressive nonetheless. A lot of people think this has to do with Nano Banana, the image editing software that is kind of coupled with Gemini when you download the app. I haven't personally tried this app. Have any one of you guys tried it before? BM, good morning. Thanks for joining. Dr. Ling, how's it going? Have any of you guys tried the Nano Banana photo editing app? I've been hearing big things about it. It's all over the internet. I initially didn't want to look at it because I'm like, I don't want to try anything that's called Nano Banana. I'm cool on that. But I hear it's pretty good. The name is wonky, but I hear the software and how it works is actually really good. A lot of people cite its ability to only change things in a photo that you want changed and keep the integrity of the subject intact. That is something that I struggle with some AI image editing software. So if it fixes that problem, that would be great. Sheeing says, agreed. The Oakley style would be great for private. Let's see here. The Oakley style would be great for private pilots and motorcycle enthusiasts. Great for adventurers. So bummed. I am too. This would be great. And like I said, I think it's just, if you're an outside person doing sports, like one wheeling would be great. Just the side wind still affects my eyes, and my eyes will water when wind is directly hitting them. And as you can probably tell, and water in your eyes when you're going 30 miles an hour down a hill or a mountain is probably not what you want. It's not going to be good for your vision. These help keep the side wind out, and the wind, I don't know why, but I feel like the notch below the nose there would keep the wind that like whips underneath down. I don't know. I'm super excited to get a pair of these if they come out with a smart version of this. That would be super cool. And it's got to record good video. I need 1080p. I mean, yeah, at least 1080p, 16:9. Like, come on. As a matter of fact, just forget that. 4K. Give me 4K, 1080p, or a 4K. Give me 4K 16:9. Great stabilization like the regular metas do. I'm happy. Morning, The Rock. How's it going? Thanks for joining. Give me that, and I'm happy with it. I'm super happy with it. But yeah, this is what we got, and it's whatever. It's whatever. All right, everyone. That is going to be the tech news for today. Now, interrupt. Feel like it. Interrupt anytime you feel like it. We can talk about whatever you guys want to for the next 45 minutes, okay? But I'm going to go, okay? I'm going to go off on a rant today. This is Rod, Galileo, Copernicus, sorry. I don't want to disrespect them. Dr. Lee says, I have a negative opinion on those styles of Oakleys. I did too. I'm not going to hold you. You know what softened me up to these Oakleys? You know what? I used to think these were so offensive and abrasive. How can a pair of glasses be offensive and abrasive? I don't know. That's just the feeling I got after seeing them on people. You know what changed my take on these? Amy forcing me to watch softball, and little league softball at that, and baseball. Now I watch it willingly because I realize how fun it is. Amy has rekindled the sports guy in me. She's more of a sports fan than I am. So she drags me into these things, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm glad, because I used to be so much into these things, and getting into my tech life and my own little bubble kind of like ruined sports for me for a little bit. Now I love sports again. But watching those games with her, like all the kids in Little League wear these. They must give these to kids or something, because they all have them. This is the only thing you see in Little League Baseball. Softball or baseball, it doesn't even matter. So I'm like, the kids softened me up on. I'm like, oh, those kids look so cute with the glasses on. It softened them up. They don't feel so abrasive now. I don't know. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is, Dr. Ling, go watch some Little League Baseball. That'll do it. You'll like these glasses after you do that. After you do that, you'll love them. I guarantee it. You do it, you let me know. One more thing on the creative space thing. This is already implied by what we've been talking about. But we are taking donations for this program. I'm going to create a space in Discord for it, so we can direct people to who like have old devices that, you know, they're like, I'm never going to sell this. So bam. And at the very least, we only need one of each device, but at the very least, we'll build up a catalog of things, of operating systems, right? It won't be really about the device. You'll be able to see kind of what the platform itself is like. You know what I mean? That's way more important, in my opinion. I mean, the build quality is important too. I've been harping on that with the Remarkable Paper Pro Move. I love the build quality. I think it's great. I love taking it out. But I just think that the software for people who are trying to get work done is the thing here. And for all intents and purposes, a lot of these devices stay relevant many years after the hardware has moved on. They're still using capable software years later. So yeah. All right. I would never wear those Oakley, says Aaron. Like I said, I thought that one time too. I've definitely changed my mind on that. I would definitely rock a pair of those now, but not just out. I wouldn't be walking around like, you wouldn't catch me just walking around Philly with a pair of those on. You know what I mean? I'm not that dude. You know what I mean? I'm not that dude. But I would, like, when I'm one wheeling, oh yeah. If I'm out playing tennis or like pickleball, I don't know if you guys know this. Like, Amy was home with me for like a whole month because she broke her hand playing pickleball. We went to go play pickleball. And I might have mentioned to you guys that she hurt her hand, but she actually broke it. So she broke her hand playing pickleball. So she was at home for 4 weeks out of work, hanging out with me. And why did I bring that up? Oh, why did I bring that up? But if I was playing pickleball, I would definitely wear those. So I guess the point of me bringing it up is that I'm getting into pickleball. It's like my precursor to getting back into tennis. I figured pickleball would be a little easier. It's not. Listen, if you're of a certain age, even a pickleball court needs to be shrunk down so you don't have to do so much running. That's what got us in trouble. I'm telling you right now, shrink the pickleball court down. When you guys go out to play pickleball, I'm not sure if you guys do pickleball or not, but next time you go, if you do, don't use the whole court size. Use just the two front squares in the tennis court as your pickleball boundaries, okay? Use the dividing line, yeah, but just use those front two squares. Don't use the outside boundaries and the back lines. That's going to get you in trouble. You have way more fun. I guarantee you. The quick games will be quicker. You'll have way more fun. It'll be way more engaging, a lot less risky because you won't feel like you have to run full speed in a certain direction to get a ball that you're never going to make. That was me. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Just have fun. Restrict the court. Okay, moving on. I can't wait to get my hands on this eNote. Yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait to get a lot of people's opinions on these things. I really am interested. Yeah, Jordy Star Trek PM. That's I want to be Jordy from Star Trek with the Oakleys. I want to be me. I want to be that dude. It's more of the group of people that wear them than the glasses themselves. Oh, right. I think that's my feeling too, Dr. Ling. Those are my sentiments as well, as far as the glasses go. But you know, it is what it is. It's what it is. All right, so yeah, interrupt me whenever you feel like it, you guys. But we about to go in. So, introducing Rod Galileo Copernicus. All right, so the first thing I want to say is I'm noticing that, whoa, is this, oh boy, Oh boy. There we go. Okay. So I'm noticing that, and I've been noticing that the people on YouTube who do analytical eInk data gathering, like on the screen brightness, the eInk ghosting, all of that stuff. The people who do that kind of work on YouTube for eInk, they're starting where they are. I include myself in that group of people. We're all starting to use the same devices, right? Now, I mean, I'll never get credit for that. I'll never get credit for that. But I will say this. I want to bring up a couple things. There's always someone who's going to be the first person to jump out and say something. Good morning, brother. How's it going? I'm glad you're here. There's always going to be someone who's going to be the first to come out and say something, right? In the eInk space, that was me. I feel like. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I did a live a while back, and I came out and I said, "Hey, right after Voya did a video talking about his methodology for doing something." Now, I talked about Voya's methodology. I talked about the methodology, not the person, right? But people took that the wrong way. People were like, "Oh, I love Voya. He's coming." Me talking about someone's methodology has nothing to do with whether I like them or not. That had nothing to do with that. I critiqued the method, not the person. People killed me for it though. I lost subscribers. I lost like members. I lost viewers over my opinion on that, and I'm cool with that. 100% cool with that. I'm cool with that because I just know that I do this for fun. And I do it for fun, and the moment it stops being fun, I'm not going to do it. And I do it to give my opinion. And some people find value in my opinion, and that's why I continue to do it. So to me, it's like, okay, well, I'll put myself out there. And I even said at the time when I made the live, I said Voya is super brave for being the first person to come out and say, we need to do this, that, and the third. I even said it during that live. I was like, it's extremely brave for anybody to be the first person to come out and say something. Because then you open yourself up to critique, and you may be wrong, you may be right. But in that particular argument, I felt like I was right for saying, hey, if we're going to do it, yeah, we need to do this thing. We need to collect the data on the screens. We need to collect data on ghosting. We need to collect all this data on ink, darkness, all of that. But we can't do it in an unstandardized way. We can't do that. Like that opens the whole system up to be scrutinized and for holes to be punched in how we do it. If we do it in a standardized way using standardized instruments, then we can all be on the same page. And that was the point I was trying to make. I was vilified for that. Because like Voya being brave and coming out, I was the first to come out and say, hey, this is how we need to do it. Voya came out and said, yeah, we need to do it. Yeah, we do. I agree with that. I've always agreed with that. But how we do it was the point. How we go about doing it, I thought Voya's not going about it the right way, and this is how I think we should do it. Good point, Dr. Ling. I agree. And I came on live and said, this is how we should do it. We need to get Voya was talking about taking pictures of something, put it in a light box, cropping in on the picture, processing it, and then analyzing the light from a picture. I'm like, that is not how you do it. You need actual instruments that gauge brightness and whiteness. And why do we need to recreate the wheel when there are already instruments on the market? And my background in labs and my background in science, I've had the privilege of working in government and commercial labs in many different situations, and I've been around instruments that can do this kind of work, so I know they exist. So I said, hey, we need to use these kind of instruments to take these measurements because they're already out there, they're already standardized, they're using standard methods, they're using standard metrics, and they're using standard ways of collecting the data. So my thought was, I'm gonna come on live and say, hey, And I use the term like, what I said was on that live, I was like, I'm going to save us from this. People took offense to me saying that. Like it was some religious like statement I was making. I meant save us from going down a road of we may not be able to come back from. If no one had contested Voya's way of deciding that he wants to test it, or anybody that wants to test it, if no one contested and said there's a better way, and when there is a better way, then maybe we never go down the road of the better way. And because I said there's a better way and showed that there's a better way, now Voya is using the same instruments that I brought up that day on live. Not only Voya, Khaled's using the same instruments now, because Khaled wasn't using those instruments before I brought that up. Now Khaled's using the exact same instruments that I'm using to collect the data. So now there's at least 3 YouTubers using the same instruments to collect the same kind of data. That people like vilified me like, oh, you can't say that. Voya's doing he's doing a great job. Well, clearly Voya didn't think he was doing a great job either, because Voya abandoned that whole light box camera thing for an actual instrument that measures light. So Voya didn't take offense to it. Voya was like, okay, cool. That's how we do it. That's how we're going to do it. Khaled didn't take offense to it. Khaled just says, okay, that's how it should be done. Well, now that we know, let's all get on that page. And now we all are on the same page. But someone had to be the first to come out and say it. Moi. I'll take the shots. I got so much, like, I got hit so hard with that. Like, I didn't care. I didn't care, of course. And it clearly didn't hurt the channel, because my live streams, hold on. Okay. Because my live streams generally are doing better now than they were in the past. And on top of that, my channel's still growing at a pace that I'm super happy with. So it didn't affect me in the long run, but people definitely felt the way about that. But now that all the YouTubers who I was talking about have the devices that I was talking about, no one's giving me the credit for it. No one's saying, you know what, that guy Roger was right. And that's all. That's all. Like, to me, be fair. If you're gonna vilify me, also give me my credit when you realize I was right. That's all. I'm not asking for much. Because what happens is these bigger YouTube channels take the credit for doing certain things, never give the smaller channel any credit at all. Listen, I'll take my own credit. You ain't got to give me credit. I'll take it. So I'm taking the credit for that. No one has to shout me out. I'm shouting myself out. Yeah, Voya didn't have no units in his measurements. There was no units. like what units are we talking about? 67? What? but again, we're not vilifying the person. I'm not going after the person. It's the method that I had a problem with. Like I said, I praised Voya back then when I said what I said. I'm praising Voya now. He does great work. He does awesome work. He's been doing it probably the longest. Has a huge subscriber base. Like, clearly he's doing something right. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no shade to him. This was just talking about that one thing that he was clearly wrong on. He corrected it himself. He didn't complain like, oh, this guy Rod. No, he didn't complain. It was people that had no skin in the game who was complaining about it. Voya didn't get mad about it. He just corrected it. Other people went to bat for Voya. Oh, Voya's never wrong. What are you talking about? You're nobody. You don't even know what you're talking. You guys should have seen the mail I got. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, really? I think I've used scientific instruments before. I think I've worked in a few labs in my lifetime. I probably know what I'm talking about. I got a couple of degrees to back it up. I probably know what I'm talking about. I worked at retail because I liked it. I've had many jobs before and after that. So don't get it mixed up. Your boy's a scientist at heart. But anyway, that's my point I wanted to bring up here today. Is that it's just I'm glad all the eInk people are on board. And why do I bring this up with the Galileo and Copernicus? Like, I feel like them because they were talking about things that were true at the time, but no one cared. No one cared about Copernicus when he said, "Oh, you guys think that the sun revolves around the earth? Silly human. It's really the earth that's revolving around the sun, bruh." He was the first to come out and say that. Now, listen, he came up in a time when they were like crucifying people for that. But Galileo wasn't so lucky. He grew up in a time saying that when people would hang you out to dry for it. And he was jailed. House arrest, but they still imprisoned him for making a claim. Same claim Copernicus made 100 years before him. He just grew up in a different time where they was like, nope, we're not taking that nonsense. But yeah, fact. Galileo was speaking facts. They hung him out to dry for it. It's common knowledge now. And that's how I feel. Like, someone had to go out and put their foot out there. Voya stuck his neck out there. I stuck my neck out there. But we did it with good intentions. We did it with the intent of pushing the conversation. And I think we have. If we didn't, all these YouTubers that I'm talking about wouldn't be using the same instruments. So it clearly pushed the conversation. We're where we need to be right now. But there's more work to be done. You want to hear more predictions? I got more. Would you like to hear them? We got more predictions here. We got some more predictions. All right, so this is my prediction now. Oh boy. Okay, all right, here we go. All right, so this is what I was thinking. Oh yeah, one more point on the Khaled video. So I watched Khaled video and he's like using the same device I am, which I was like, it made me feel so good. Like, yes, I feel vindicated and validated when I saw Khaled using the same device I was using to judge brightness. I was like, yes, man, this is what we needed. Like somebody had to do it. Somebody had to do it. That was me. So what's the next steps? Here's my next prediction right here, where we should go. And if we're smart, we'll get here. Like if we're smart as creators in this space, collecting data, this is what we'll do. This is what we should do. Not saying we will, not saying we need to, but this is what we should do. All the data collectors should come together. Like everybody that's collecting data on eInk devices should come together on this. What does that do? It solidifies your nomenclature. Now, if we can all get together and call ghosting a certain thing, I don't care what it is, but if we all say that that's what we mean by when we say ghost, when we say this, it means ghosting, then we could change the term to that, and now everybody's using the same term when they make their videos. What does that do? Well, now the community as a whole start using those terms, and now everyone's using the same term to refer to the same thing. That's the first thing it does. It solidifies nomenclature. It standardizes use cases, right? So it says, okay, we're using standard equipment to capture the data. And at that point, we're already there basically at that point. So there's really no need to go over that. Settings. The machines that we all have, we need to get together on what settings we're using for these devices so everyone's readings are at the very least very close. If not exactly the same, very close. So if we get all our settings together, Voya's data will be very close to mine, or if not the same. Khaled's data will be very, very same or very close and not the same as mine, and vice versa. That is like the next step in that. What else we got here? This makes the data collecting closely matched so that we can start to grow consumer trust in the system. So if I'm saying the same thing and getting the same measurements and calling something the same thing as Voya, if Voya's calling something the same thing and getting the same measurements as Khaled and vice versa, right? That builds consumer like trust in what we're saying. if I'm calling something different than what Kala's calling it, then something different than what Voya's calling it, something different than the other guys calling it, there's no trust being built up with the people watching the videos that one person is right over the other one. When we're all right, we're just calling it something different and using different metrics. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the next step for me. Everyone, like the creators who are collecting the data, to come together and kind of figure out what to call things and figure out the settings on the devices that we're using, so we're all getting roughly the same measurements and calling things the same thing. If I'm losing you guys, let me know. If I'm losing you guys, let me know. Oh, we gained a couple people. If you're liking the content, hit the like button. If you want more, subscribe. We do this Monday through Friday. Typically, I don't go in on long rants about eInk like this. Typically, I do check the news, and then we go into some eInk news as well. But today we're doing a commentary today on eInk. What else we got here? I also think, another prediction, I also think all of the things we're talking about right now, the ghosting, how dark eInk is, the brightness, the color shifts in the screens, all that thing I think will be common knowledge in the future. I think all of that will be common knowledge. I think manufacturers will learn what metrics we hold value in and start printing those measurements and specs and giving that to us in a way that we can readily get it, either by putting it on the packaging, either by adding it to their spec sheets on the websites. These things that we hold value in will start to make sense. Will start to make a difference to the manufacturers, and they will start publishing this information on their own at some point. I do believe that. Manufacturers will eventually need more ways to differentiate their products from other products, and adding more specifics to their spec sheets for ghosting, for brightness. All those things will be ways to differentiate your device from another manufacturer's device, right? And that may mean a lot to consumers who be like, well, I would like to buy the brightest screen I can. Which one is the brightest? Well, that knowledge isn't public right now. We don't know that. If not for YouTubers doing their own analytical data collecting, we wouldn't know that. We know now, right? We're getting to that point to where that's becoming common knowledge, but it's not there yet. And just think about it like this too. Think about the LED space. When you go buy your latest TV, when you go buy the latest monitor, you're looking at stats that weren't there 10 years ago, right? I mean, think about specs like contrast ratio and response time. They haven't always been on a spec sheet. I mean, that's just a small example. There's tons of specs that we look at and that matter to us as consumers when we go buy our new gaming monitor or our new TV for our living room or our home theater setup. There are specs that we care about that were not public knowledge when that technology first released. It took time for manufacturers to understand what mattered to the consumer, and if they had an advantage in that category over their competitor, they're posting it. They're making that knowledge known. I think eInk will eventually get to that place. Like I said, we're not there now. They're not, putting these specs there now because they don't know what's important to us. But people like Kali, people like Voya, prominent eInk YouTubers, putting that information out there in a standard way. That's the key. In a standard way that the industry is like all in on, because no one argues that CIE is a standard for brightness and whiteness. Nobody argues that, right? Nobody argues RA is the standard for roughness, right? No one argues that because those are known industry standards. So now that people are in the eInk space are using known industry standards, manufacturers can say, okay, with those known standards, we understand what those standards mean. Those are standards that we can now put on our products in marketing because they're standards, right? Before we were using standards, there was nothing for the manufacturers to take and say, yes, that's a marketing tool, because that's somebody's unitless measurement that they came up with on their own. There's, again, no need to recreate the wheel. There's already instruments that do that. Let's go to the chat. Sorry about that, you guys. I went in. Let's go to the chat. Looks like you gotta ship your gadgets out with the tablets to try out. Oh yeah, absolutely. Aaron says you all should be able to work together and share information, but that wouldn't take buy-in for all. That's the thing. We all need to, like, and it doesn't have to involve me. But my point is, people need to get together and solidify settings. They need to solidify nomenclature. Because once you solidify those two things, now manufacturers have something they can hold on to and say, okay, this YouTuber says that the RA is this on the device. This YouTuber right here over here got a similar reading and he's using the same standard. What is RA? Well, RA is the universal standard for roughness. Oh, okay, that's something we can actually put on the package and market. Before that, we were talking like, oh, it feels rougher. Yeah, this feels rougher than now we know what the roughness is. We can say, yes, definitively, that's rougher than that. And in relation to that, this is rougher. Has more friction. Right? So yeah, those are the things. And if people don't get together and solidify the nomenclature for eInk, for ghosting, for brightness, for whiteness, if we don't come together and solidify those, everyone's going to be using different terminology. Everyone's going to be using different metrics. And then it doesn't matter that we're using standards. We're still describing them in arbitrary ways. We need to come with standard ways of describing, because right now there are no terms. And we're in a golden age in eInk right now where we can make those terms, because I mean, there are technical terms for them, but there aren't consumer terms for them, right? And that's a distinction that needs to be made. What else we got here? Yeah. So like I said, I think what's ultimately going to happen is we're ultimately going to see the things we talk about and the measurements that we're taking as YouTubers be common. It's going to be common knowledge on spec sheets, and there will be no need for us to take these measurements anymore, right? Until that day comes, though, it's up to people that are influential in the space to say we need to standardize how we're talking about this. Now that we're using standard instruments, now that we're getting standard measurements, we need to come up with standard settings. We need to come up with standard nomenclature. All right. I think that's it, you guys. I think that's going to be it for the show today. Any big thing happening in eInk that you guys want to talk about? And to finish off of what Aaron was saying, I do think that people will start to come together. I think that people need to stop thinking that this is an attack. You know, I don't, like, in the scientific community, this stuff happens all the time. Like, this isn't even something that people do get upset by it sometimes, but it's the process. Peer review is how science and how knowledge is moved forward, because if you're the only person that thinks what you think, what good is that? Like, I think something and I'm getting measurements, someone can go and verify that now, because they have the same machine I do. Preferably with the same settings I have, but maybe not. Maybe not. Aaron says, you might lose another member or two after this, but I understand why you feel this way. I pushed away from some conversation in the Discord due to people not really respecting others' point of view. Bro, look at how people reacted during COVID. Yeah. And that's, it's sad that the spaces that I'm trying to create for conversation and opinion have to be like, you have to feel an aversion to saying certain things. My thing is, if you're not attacking someone, why does your opinion shouldn't offend you? Like, we're talking about technology here. If you're offended by someone's opinion on technology, you need to grow a thicker skin. Like, honestly, like, we're not talking about life and death here. We're not talking about hunger and famine. You know what I mean? We're talking about tech. We're talking about eInk? Bruh, eInk. And that's what upsets you? People need to get a life. If someone's opinion on eInk upsets you, get a freaking life. You don't have enough to do in your day if that's what fires you up. But I do have an opinion on people's take on taking measurements and how detrimental that can be. Now think about if I hadn't said anything. Oh yeah, and to Aaron's point, I'm definitely gonna lose a few people with this. I don't care. Listen, the people I lose due to this, due to my opinion on this, I didn't need those people around me anyway. I only want positive people around me who want to get at the actual truth of the matter. If you don't care about the truth of the matter and you ain't trying to be positive, I don't need you around me. Because my attitude and my aura is that of positivity and love. Like that is what I exude when I try to walk around and live my life. Like I'm happy as crap all day, every day. I'm passionate. You'll get the passion. But the people I lose, I didn't need those people around anyway. I didn't need them around anyway, honestly. And like I said, I do this for fun. And when it stops being fun, I'll stop doing it. But my opinion has changed the culture. I tell you what, they might not like me, but guess what? You're getting good measurements now because you don't like me. I'm okay with that. Rod, Galileo, Copernicus. You know what I wanted to say after that, but I didn't do it. Listen, I bet you didn't think I could compare myself to Galileo, did you? I did. Me and Galileo, we're on the same level. Let me get out of here before I say something that really gets me in trouble. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you. If you're here to the end of this, it's because you're a real trooper. And let's get the air horns going for the real troopers out here, because y'all deserve applause and air horns. I'm telling you, you guys are the best. Thank you for being here, and thanks for hanging out, because you are the people I want here. You are the people I want around to like get your feedback on. I don't want to get people's feedback who are like insensitive or like people who don't care about the truth and who feel like, oh, you can't say that about my favorite YouTuber. Your favorite YouTuber's crap. Your favorite YouTuber is trash. Now go run tell that. Yeah, drop a like and support. Actually, yeah, drop a like, support the channel, because this is independent work I do here. I don't get support from companies. I don't need all that. I just need support from good people like you guys out there. And if you like content like this, definitely consider supporting. Consider joining. Consider hitting the like button. Consider subscribing. Go to the channel. Buy a T-shirt. Super thanks. Those things help the channel. And if you guys feel it gets some value from the channel, show some value back. I really appreciate it. All right, everybody, I'm out. Thanks to all the chat crew. Thanks to everyone who supports the channel. Yeah, and I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, you guys, peace.